Good afternoon. This week in the Bible study, you're going to be looking at chapter 6 of Get Out of That Pit by Beth Moore. And in that chapter, she mentions the Hebrew verb kavah. So I thought it would be interesting to learn that word in Hebrew and tie it in with what we learned in Sunday school. So I thought I'd record a little video for you to learn those words. In Sunday school, we learned that word, the letter resh, which is similar to the shofar that we saw, the similar shape. And we saw that our English letter R, just turned around the other direction, comes from that one. To make the first letter in the verb kavah, we make a resh. So we just make a semicircle like that. That's the resh. And then to make the first letter in the verb kavah, remember the resh was a picture of a head, but in kavah we add one more stroke right down here, and that makes the letter kuf or kof. And this one is a picture actually of probably an ape or a monkey. So if we look at this as the monkey's head, and then part of its body, and we could add some ears to it, maybe a mouth, put some eyes on there, and we begin to see the monkey taking shape. We could add a body, tail, and some arms. And the idea, she talked in that chapter about clinging to God. So if you imagine a monkey clinging to its mother or to a tree or something, this image fits pretty well with this letter. So there we have the letter kuf. The second letter in this verb is one that we learned last time. So first we make the kuf, and then we add the vav. The vav is a hook, or it's the tent stake that you would use, for example, in the tabernacle. Kind of gives new meaning to the name hooks. So we have kuf, and then we have this vav, which is a tent stake. The tabernacle was designed to be that center of God's presence among the people in the middle of the camp. And this week is very special when we think of that, because this is the week we're supposed to build tabernacles or sukkot, that if you stay in them, you're remembering that time when we had to, as people of God, cling to God for everything, even the water we drank. So this is a good time to remember the tabernacle, or the tents that the people of God lived in at that time in the wilderness. The third letter is the letter He, and again it's made just by making the same resh, except this time we add a concentric circle on the inside. And you can see the ancient form of it looks very much like our letter E, and exactly the letter E comes from this letter. But the sound in Hebrew is the sound H, and it's the first letter in the word hallelujah, or hallelu, praise, Yah, the Lord. So this one actually, if you look at it, comes from a picture probably of a person standing with their hands raised in praise. Now, if we have energy for one more letter, let's add a tav. The tav originally was an X, and the word tav can actually mean signature. Job used it when he talked about, he said, here is my signature, or my X. And you can rotate it, and indeed in English it rotated to become a T. And in the modern Hebrew script, this crossbar has become extended out, and we have a little foot here, so that the modern tav looks like this. We make that same resh pattern, and then we add a foot down here. Now what we've done here is to actually create the word tikvah. The word tikvah means hope, and it's the word we find in Psalm 62:5, where David says, "My soul, wait in silence for God alone, because my hope comes from Him." This fits very well with what the author was talking about in this chapter. Now, if we go back, we have the word tikvah. If we go back to what we learned in Sunday school, we learned the letter bet. And remember, the bet was that same basic stroke, and then we arch upwards like that, and we have bet. Then we add another resh, right? And then we add the kaf. The kaf is a picture of a hand. And then the hey that we saw just a minute ago. We learned these three letters as the verb to bless, barach or barech. We learned the form baruch. So if we put it together like this, we have the noun bracha, and that's the one that when Isaac was blessing Jacob, he said, "And may he give you the blessing, the bracha, which he gave Abraham, you and your descendants with you." I like David Stern's translation of the Bible, and when he translates Matthew 14:19, when Jesus is feeding the 5,000 plus crowd, he said, "And after instructing the crowds to sit down on the grass, he took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up toward heaven, made a bracha," said a blessing. Then he broke the loaves and gave them to the Talmidim, the disciples, who gave them to the crowds. So the idea of blessing, bracha. So we've learned the word bracha and also the word tikvah. If you put all this together, you've already learned a total of 7 different Hebrew letters. There are only 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet, so you're almost 1/3 of the way through the alphabet already. So you only have a little bit farther to go, and you'll be on your way to reading in Hebrew. So enjoy the rest of the Bible study.